What's up guys, and welcome back to another Rome 2 custom battle here today. And you may be thinking, we've got some funny looking Romans here, but they're not the Romans, they are the Mysilai. It's a Numidian, it's the Numidian faction. It's the first time I've seen them, and this is the desert cohort that we've got here, and they look really cool. There's, like, you've got the mix of them here with the, like, their head turban, I wouldn't know the word, like the turban sort of and face mask here, and then you've got the helmet here with like the normal Roman legionary helmet. It looks really cool. So, and then we've got so yeah, and then who else have we got here? We've got the Arvani. If I can click over to them, thank you. And we've got the Arvani over here, and we have, although you can't see them, Sparta and Pontus. I was playing in this battle again. I was playing as the Arvani. So yeah, if you've got any battle replays of your own, please drop them in like the comments, and I will see if they're any good and whether they're worth showing on the channel. And I'm sure they will be, because guys I'm sure do some epic battles yourself. But this is an epic battle, and it is a very close battle. It is extremely close, and at one point I did think, oof, this is looking bad for us, and then at another point I was like, we've got this in the bag, and then it just kept chopping and changing, like who was going to win, and it was amazing. So we'll quickly look at the armies here for Mysilai and myself. I will let it start because it does start off a bit slow. So we've got 3 units of desert legionary cavalry here, and they look pretty cool as well. They look almost this bit here looks Egyptian. It's the headdress there looks Egyptian, and a mix of Roman armor there. And like we said, we've got a long line here of desert cohort, lots of desert cohort. I think all is infantry desert cohort. So, and then he brought some tribal slingers with him, 4 units of them, and that's it. That's literally his army, and his general in the back being an armored Numidian riders. That's his entire army done, just like that. Very simple. Well, I am bringing. I'm bringing chosen swordsmen, quite a lot of chosen swordsmen, spear nobles. I think I've got 2 units of spear nobles that I put 1 on each flank to defend from cavalry, and then I've got just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chosen swordsmen, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 Oathsworn, not including my general, who's another Oathsworn, and I brought a lot of Gallic hunters and some slingers. So yeah, as you can see here, Massalia has found the Spartan army and is just running across the line to like show me his army. He's like, here you go, pal. You can see their army now. You can see where they're going to set up. So they've got a lot of Spartan pikemen, Spartan hoplites, Royal Spartans. It's just lots of hoplites as Sparta's supposed to do. I think, yeah, here's a Sparta, and then some Cretan archers in reserve. And he does have 2 units of citizen cavalry as well, somewhere, but you can't quite see them yet. So yeah, the Desert Legionary cavalry here soaking up ammo. I was like, are you gonna pull them back? And he's like, no, it's fine, they can soak up the ammunition. Let's save them using it on you instead. And now Pontus has appeared. So we've got some Pontic swordsmen and some Pontic peltasts and some Thoros spears. That's all we can see at the moment, and even some Pontic Royal Cavalry now arriving. That's interesting. So they'll be really hard to deal with. These are some elite units here. They look very nice. And then we've got this citizen cavalry I was talking about just appearing here in a diamond formation, which is quite surprising since you can't see any of the cavalry. I mean, I'm guessing you use diamond formation because you can see cavalry. Massalia. I'm gonna call I'm gonna call him Numidia. I'm gonna call him Numidia because that's easier. I'm sorry if you don't like that, but that's gonna be easier for me in this video. So some Spartan pikemen moving out here. Not quite sure what they were doing there. I think it might have been a misclick and he moved them out into the open. But yeah, and I also forgot to mention I have 2 units of heavy horse. Some fairly elite cavalry. Not the best, but they are very good. And they look insane, don't they? Look at them. Oh. Something very good about Celtic cavalry. I just love them. So anyway, yes. So I've decided to not camp, but take a position in the forest, because I was like, well, my archers are already hidden because they where are they? Yes, back here. Gallic hunters. They just instantly hide in any terrain if they're not firing. Even sometimes if they're firing, they're still hidden. You have to get very close before you can see them. And then look here, citizen cavalry making some skirmishes and seeing what army I've got, and then he finds my heavy horse and he turns tail and runs. And I think I'd give him a bit of a chase. No, I decided it's better to just stay where I am. And at this point now we have Numidia sending out another foray of cavalry to inspect, I think, Pontus's army and see what he's got. And you saw there in the back, Pontus's cavalry is moving forward. He's got even Cappadocian cavalry. He's got a lot of cavalry. Pontus bring into the battle a lot of cavalry, and he's got. Can we see anything new? Pontic peltas, Pontic swords, some more cavalry, bronze shield pikemen. Oh, they'll be interesting to deal with pikes in the battle. I think it's only Pontus and Sparta bring pikes, so they've got that in their advantage. They can keep us at bay with their pikemen and spears, while we have to get up and close with swords and a few. We've got a few spears. I've brought a few spears, but not enough to not enough range still on our spears to beat their pikemen. So these bronze shield pikemen are going to be very key in the battle. I've not really looked at Pontus's faction a lot. Pontus as a faction and their units, but they do look very good. Again, another mix of Eastern and Greek factions. Oh, and that's an interesting formation the bronze shield pikemen have gone into here, and the Numidian cavalry are charging in. The desert legionaries are probably going to get killed here because they're fighting Pontic swordsmen and pikes, and they're getting cut down very quickly. They're losing decisively indeed. And yeah, just like that, routed, and Cappadocian cavalry gone in. I felt it was a bit silly of him. He's now wasted 2 of his cavalry units, and cavalry are really key in this campaign. And look at this, I'm bringing in 2 of my heavy horse now to have a look at what's going on here. See where I can get in behind. And at this point, I think, yeah, you can see here Sparta's now making a bit of a new box almost, and he's defending his archers. Because I realised that all his archers were behind his pikes and hoplites. I was hoping to get in and hit them, but I couldn't remember where they were. So I was taking a big long look, and now I pull back. I think I get away unscathed almost. All my units are still intact, and cavalry are coming in. And at this point, I think he's had enough of me in the background. And there you go. He has a few shots for me. We're taking some fire, and we're having first combat for me and Spartan here. The citizen cavalry pull back because Pontus, the guy controlling Pontus, was like, pull back. Your citizen cavalry aren't as good as his. Pull back. And I do the same because I realise Pontic Royal Cavalry are arriving, and we've got to keep my cavalry intact for later game, because they'll be very key. But we're still unscathed after all that, and we did a few damages to Sparta, so it was well worth it. And he's still firing ammunition at me, which I'd rather him firing at my cavalry than at my infantry. And I finally take my first casualty. So it's all well worth it. And I think at this point, me and Sparta were both having goes at each other, seeing how many each other were killed, and I was really happy with the amount that I'd lost. A 1 cavalryman is more than enough. I think we've killed about 20 or 30 of his men by this point. But now they go back into the shrubbery themselves, and this becomes a bit of a low point in the battle. So I'm going to just speed up a little bit, because there is a bit of a low point as who's going to go first, who's going to make a move, and here we go. Sparta's now moving up his cavalry, and he's having a look to see what I've got on my side. So we'll do that. We'll go back, because now we've got, looks like Numidia is also going to engage here and deal with more citizen cavalry. Well, the same citizen cavalry, not more. He's only brought 2. So I opened fire on him and was like, well, you're not getting away with looking at my force as well. A few casualties. So we shoot a few of his men here, and yeah, it's pretty brutal. I mean, that's it. And then I call for halt, because again, I don't want to waste troops. So we'll just have a quick look at this. Look at this line. It's awesome line that I have going on here. It's just a line of men waiting in ambush, heavy infantry just waiting the call. It's going to be amazing when this finally goes off. But yeah, so it's just can't see anything over that ridge. But over that ridge, they know that there's a Spartan horde waiting. So yeah, it's amazing. So we'll put the hood back on and we'll see what's happening. Numidia's brought his cavalry back. He's like, well, there's no need to attack. There's wasting more cavalry, and I told him to hold on to his last bit of cavalry and to save it for late game, because cavalry is going to be necessary to get behind and do hammer and anvils. And Pontus is making a changing his formation up a bit, and this is what happened for quite a while. I don't want to cut it because there are a few tactical things that happen, but we'll go to fast forward really quickly and we'll see what happens. Because yes, I'll slow it down a little bit. We'll keep it on a bit of fast forward. I am starting to move my cavalry forward again. I'm trying to go for another sneak maneuver and hope that I could bait. I was like hoping I could bait out his cavalry to come near my archers, and I hold them in melee so that I can defeat his cavalry quickly, and then I can roam free with my cavalry into his army, and he's got to play the defensive, which for Sparta is fairly customary anyway. And it was surprising to see Sparta come onto the battlefield, Sparta not being the best pitch battle faction. I'll go with is the best. Yeah, I don't know what I was really thinking of. Nation, faction, either one works. So yeah, at this point they're waiting here somewhere, and they come out sooner or later. It's got a long time as this battle, so I am going to just fast forward, and we're going to see what happens. My cavalry making a big move for it. At this point, both armies very much untouched, and here we go. Pontus looks like he's making another move. We'll have a look over there what's happening. Pontus making another move. Looks like he's really changing his formation up here. Getting us slightly nearer. Look at that dead. I mean, Numidia's certainly lost the most, and a few reckless charges. But yeah, very few. There are lots of dead horsemen here, and not very much going on. But look over here. I managed to, going a bit fast, but I managed to get a few more of his cavalry here. But I did take a few more losses of my own. Now lost about 7 cavalry, and looks like there's more citizen cav dead here. There's a few of my own dead over here, and he's got a few more with my archers. But as you can see here, Pontus is now moving in, and we'll come to that very soon, because I'm pretty sure now I finally catch his citizen cavalry off guard, or maybe not. Maybe just I've forgotten what he does. Oh, he's going for a charge. He's going for a charge. Very strange. He's going to have another look at my units. Let's march in with this. Oh, dangerous. Taking a few slings there, and then do my cavalry make a move? No, they do not. Off in the distance there. Don't know really how they were hidden, but they were hidden apparently. So now we've got Massalia moving in. Or keep saying Massalia. Massalia's a Greek faction, Pope. No, we've got Numidia, I'm going to call them. But keep them like what they are in Rome 1. They're basically just Numidia. But you can see the line off in the distance there. They're doing their thing, and now they're finally moving forward. We are finally going to see the march of Pontus. And I love Pontus. I'm going to have to play Pontus at some point, because they are a beautiful faction. Beautiful faction. The helmets just look amazing. Look at that ram that guy's got. That ram. That's amazing. We've got some. They look very much like the thorax swords, and I'm sure they are just the Pontic version of the thorax swords. They look a bit different with their trousers on that they're wearing, but that's about it. So we'll at this point, Pontus has moved forward, and that's about it. That's all he's doing. And I'm at this point now luring. I'm using one heavy horse to try and lure. Oh, at this point, oh yes, I've actually caught. Sorry, I'm missing it. Sparta moved his citizen cavalry out here and seemed to have forgot about them, and I charged in with my heavy horse and broke them quite instantly. So now I have the cavalry superiority, and we are now able to roam, not as free as we'd like, but a bit more. But I'd like to say Cappadocia, but he has Cappadocian cavalry, and Pontus still has about 4 units of cavalry, and these are very good units. And he's also got some chariots. I did not spot these in the battle when we first played it through, but he has some chariots as well, Scythe chariots, and that's interesting. They will definitely be useful in the battle, and they'll certainly break through the desert cohort and do some damage. But Sparta here is moving up again. He is, I think, getting a bit impatient almost, and he fires some shots at me, and I was like, well, we can't have this. can't take this fire for no reason. So I'm pretty sure I start to... I haven't reacted yet. Oh, I've gone into shield wall. I decided shield wall is the decision to go with. To hold the... to stop as many arrows getting through as possible. Sparta is now very much in the open and can be seen with quite a large amount of its forces. There's still a lot of hoplites that are still hidden. You still can't see much of my army. You can see this corner now, but you still can't see where the rest of it is. And then I go for a cavalry charge too, because I now know his archers are here on his front, so I could get around behind, maybe pincer him again. But it's starting to get a bit more interesting. They're just so beautiful, Sparta. Such a beautiful faction. Shame they don't have any sort of sword units and stuff like that. And yeah, it's a lot of cavalry moving around to try and deny other cavalry from getting a shot, because now Pontus is the same, and I lose even more cavalry at this point. And I was like, right, we've got to just use these cavalry at some point, because we are starting to take too many casualties to these archers and doing nothing. So we need to do something quick. And at this point, I think Pontus is soon ready to move up. But we'll fast forward again. Do another fast forward, because it's awful English. He is now moving in. The final move. He's freshened up his troops a little bit more, and he is ready to attack. And I was confident that Numidia would hold this. These are desert cohort. These are basically Romans. Very heavy infantry. I was very much expecting them to hold for a long time. But we'll see what happens. And I've now moved my cavalry into the back. And they are now hidden again in his back ranks. And Sparta was not happy. He was talking in the chat, and he was not happy that he could not find my cavalry. And here we go. The charge. And they just go straight through. Just look at that. Look at the death and destruction there. And the slingers right in behind. They take the full effect as well. And he's got some reserve units there also trying to rally and get in there. But look, the line's broken and the cavalry in behind. And now he's got to deal with pikes, javies, swordsmen. And they just charge back through the other side. And they do a lot of damage. And look at this. Here they come. The pikes. Down they go. They're just going down. I'm trying to get to someone at the front, but it's not possible, it seems. So, but look at that. Look at that line. Very nice. There's no way, look at that. The reach, that's the problem we were having in this side of the battlefield, is the pikes just could not get in close enough to, well, the pikes. We couldn't get in close enough because of the pikes. With with short swords here, could not get any nearer. So we, oh, that was a devastating javi throw. Oh, look at that, in from the side. So getting in behind the shields, it's just painful to watch. So yeah, that's going on. At this point, I'm pretty sure I'm not doing much else in the way of tactics myself. I think I almost stood off and just hoped that Numidia would win this, so I could then double team Sparta, because I was not happy with taking on Sparta with this faction. I was hoping I was going to come up against Pontus and then I'd overwhelm him with just elite infantry and stuff. But I am starting to move my missiles all over to this side to try and combat his missiles, because I was having enough of him just skirmishing me out and defending his rear with hoplites. But as you can see here, because of his cavalry that Numidia has gone and wasted, he's now Pontus is now able to go and get his cavalry around the back, and he's just waiting for the prime opportunity. And really, he should move in. I mean, the only cavalry that he's really got left, Numidia, is his armoured Numidian riders, his general. So really, sorry about that, Pontus should be moving in and taking on the rear and just taking out those archers, or slingers I should say, because they're getting absolutely beaten by javies here of Pontus and whoever. These are throw spears. These guys aren't even proper skirmishers. And look at that. The Pontus general is breaking He's just getting absolutely destroyed by the armoured cavalry, armoured Numidian riders, but now they're in combat with the Cappadocian infantry, and Numidia is now sending the infantry to help. He's trying to get these cavalry and these chariots off the battlefield, but look at them, they're just doing so much damage. Just running around, just taking names. It's causing a lot of damage, and yeah, he's already down to about half strength on his general unit. But yeah, Desert Cohort here, very much beaten up. Most of the Desert Cohort units are beaten up, and I think, apart from this side, and he's not even moving, he should be moving to engage here. He should not just be waiting around just to like, these are Thoros spears. These Desert Cohorts should be beating them, but he's just like standing around waiting for the cavalry charges to come in and just beat him. And these are heavy cavalry, and they're going to just knock him down and not let him go up and stab him in the back. And wow. Anyway, going over here, sorry, that was really bad. Going over here to my side of the battle, we now have citizen cavalry doing damage in behind and routing lots of my skirmishers. It is not looking good for either of us right now, and the infantry engagement started and has stopped. Sorry we missed that, but Numidia was in a... There's a lot of action going on over there, and the heavy horse of me here was trying to get him behind and attack, and I think I did take out a few of his mercenary Cretan archers, and now we're just taking a few names as they retreat. You're not getting away that easily without us shooting you in the back. And to be fair, we've taken lots of these units already battered up quite a bit, not as much as I'd like, but they're doing a fair amount of damage, and I was like, right, so now we're gonna have to get in their faces. We're gonna have to turn around quickly and get in their faces, and I've routed their final unit of cavalry, so I was like, right, we've got cavalry, we dominate this side of the battlefield with our cavalry. So I was like, right, that's it, you're getting some charges getting off on you here. So into the side of the here's a Sparta, and a very elite unit, a very small unit. It's still at 90. Still at 90. I did not damage any, and that's really disappointing because I thought I had done some damage, but that was just a wasted charge. But I've held them off now, and we're sending in the infantry. The infantry is going in on this flank. We're committing, I think, some of the units. I was a bit slow on getting units forward, but now he's sending in his Cretan archers, and either they're out of ammunition, which is really help with the cavalry. Yeah, I think they are. I think they're out of ammunition. So I have more ammunition than him. I have more cavalry than him. It should be going my way, but the Spartan hoplites, they are deadly. So clearly my tactic of using my cavalry and Numidia's tactic of using his cavalry to soak up ammunition helped. But as we see here, it's not looking good for Numidia. He is very much out of this. He's surrounded. Look at that. Just running in behind and just damaging them with the chariots there. Yeah, 182. These are some very not fresh units. 60. He's basically out the battle. It's the pikes. They're not all pikes aren't actually in this. Where are the pikes then? Are they all dead? No, we still have some pikes here. It's a lot of Thoros spears that are carrying the battle, it seems, for him. Which is surprising. These Thoros spears aren't even looking the right way. But seems as pikemen seems to... I never saw what happened in the battle or even in the replay. How his pikes took so much of a beating. I'm surprised he didn't bring more, to be honest. I mean, pikes, if he had more pikes, I think he would have... they'd been slow advance, but he would have managed to beat the cohorts, I think, with more effectiveness, because they're pretty beaten up. But yeah, over here, my cavalry is now engaging in his Royal Spartans. Oh, actually, they're not. They're just standing just there, and I was not paying attention, and they're taking unnecessary casualties. But over here, the battle is full flow. So we'll quickly have a look at this. Yeah, it's looking heated. Some very elite units. I don't think either of us brought anything but elite units, really, apart from maybe skirmishers aren't as elite for me as possibly could be, but I went for effectiveness over anything. And look at this. Sparta is breaking here already. I've surrounded him, and we're breaking his lines. And further down the battlefield, he's pulled back, and I am pushing up. And this side, left side, is looking fairly. It's fairly even. I'm just having a few shots and, damaging him as much as possible. I mean, big Spartan shields is probably going to soak up much of this ammunition, but it's all worth it. They've got to keep keeping them on their toes, I guess. And look at that, more Spartan hoplites routing. There's a big gap now in the line, and I'm sending Oathsworn straight through, and he's turning his Royal Spartans to face me. My Oathsworn are a bit out of position in this formation. I have no idea what this is, but they're in it anyway, so I've got very few of them doing that. I brought more Oathsworn to support. I think these guys are going to go in a minute. I must be looking somewhere else in the battlefield. I must be looking at my heavy horse. And I think I'm going to charge into the back of these heroes of Sparta. At this point, over on the other side, yeah, I think Numidia is out of the battle, and it's down to Pontus to come over and support Sparta. And it's now basically, at this point, I was not happy. I was like, it's now 1.5 armies versus 1. It's not looking good. I think the battle is more or less done for, but I will fight on to the end and take as many of these Spartans down with me as possible. So here's Sparta, only down to 71 now, and they're still even, and my unit is losing to them. I really need to break these heroes of Sparta. They're insanely good. That's why it's such a small unit. And now we are surrounding this, slowly but steadily surrounding this Royal Spartan unit, which is really, really good. Hopefully beat them up. And over here we're starting to get overwhelmed a bit. We're losing to 2 units of Spartans, and he's trying to outflank me as well, as you can see here. He's trying to outflank and get around this unit, and if he surrounds it, then he's done. He's done. He's done. I'm done. Not he's done. And over this side, we're still just taking a lot of shots at each other. It's just standing off. It's very strange. But you can see, look at the amount of Spartans dead here. These are all archers, but it's just funny when I saw it. It's the big line of dead Spartan archers sent to their deaths. But now Pontus is coming into battle. He's bringing his cavalry up, his Cappadocian cavalry. He's trying to deal with my heavy horse, which is not having a good time. I could not get my cavalry to run down his archers at all. And they're not having much fun here. They're losing. I think I sent them in to try and help support against the Royal Spartans. And it's given my chosen swords a bit of time to recover. And now I'm bringing over reserves from the left flank to try and now fight up against Pontus. Because Pontus is threatening my left, and he can now get in behind. I wish I could draw on the map, because it would really help, but you follow my mouse. He's trying to get in this way, so I'm having to bring my general is having to come over with 2 chosen sword and an Oathsworn unit. And now I've like, right, that's it, we're sending in on the left flank, we're going in. So Oathsworn going in, attack. It's a strange formation. I'm going for a narrow formation here, it seems, but we're going in against Royal Spartans. And the pikes here, I did not mention it in the battle to him, and I wasn't going to, because I needed all the help I could, but he did not put his pike formation down. He just left them with swords, and this is going to basically make them redundant, make them like a sword unit. So me saying that Sparta doesn't have a sword unit, it does if it doesn't put its pikes down. So hopefully we can beat them now that they've basically disadvantaged themselves. And what we've got else going on over here, we've got my spears are also engaging hoplites. And then we've got chosen swords here, taking more hoplites. It's a big long line of that, and I think that's it. That's the end of the line. So I was surprised to bring pikes around, and he could have flanked me, because he really could have done some damage there. My cavalry is near enough ineffective. 14 is not going to do enough damage, and here I go. I'm breaking chosen swords, breaking to Royal Spartans, and I was like, right, we've got to send in more units. We've got to send in the Oathsworn to break Spartan hoplites, Royal Spartans as well. These are some good units. So yeah, they've now gone in and they are holding the line. And now my Oathsworn here, who are winning decisively, are fighting 2 units. I mean, they're both battered units, but still. And now my archers are starting to get run down by his cavalry that just got in behind. So it's not looking good. I am all over the place at the moment. I'm all over the shop. I cannot defend every single flank, it would seem. And I was like, well, we need a miracle. We need a miracle. We need Numidia back is what we need. And Numidia is gone, and there we go, another unit broken. It's my archers starting to break now. Celtic slingers being run down by these cavalry. Poor Celtic slingers. Innocents. They didn't deserve this. They just throw rocks at you in the back while you're running away. Don't hurt them. But here we go. Hashtag slingers have rights too. Royal Spartans just doing what they do normally. Just stand a bit off and stab you with their long spears. They're not quite as long as pikes, but they're still long. And look at that. That's a great shot. Looking over your shields. Very nice. Some good shields as well. Very. I mean, that was mixed to say like medieval 12-12, but they've got a good mix of shields. Why are you facing this way, man? They're not. They're your friends. The enemy is behind you. It's there. The enemy is here. Why are you facing the wrong way? Idiot. So now we have. Yeah, look at this. I'm being penned in, just like a V formation here going on with the Spartan hoplites, and he's. Looks like he's just about to pen me in and surround me, but a huge bit of luck here. Spartan hoplites breaking again here, and he's pulled back, disengaged because my general did break through here, and now Pontus having to send in troops to reinforce the front line. And these Royal Spartans have survived and are pulling back, and I'm sending them in. The Oath one in. They've got no time to rest, and they've got to go straight back in, take on the Heroes of Sparta, which is down to 21. We finally weaken them, and this one's still at 84. Both have been in combat for ages, and now the Thor Spears are wavering because they have lost their general. So Pontus did make a small engagement here. I don't think it was anything major, and I think it was very quick things, and he pulled back straight away. I think he lost one unit to breaking, and then had enough of it. So look at this as well. Royal Spartans again being surrounded. This is what I was trying to do all battle, was just surround a unit. And since he was deciding to keep reserves, I was happy for him to surround him. And he's got Pontic Peltas, and I really was like, Numidia has a usable ammunition. He was like, yes, I'm pretty sure he has. So he's sending them in, as you can see here, to just take me out in the flanks, in the rear. But I mean, these Pontic Peltas, I don't know how long they'll stand because their general is dead and they're fighting against Oathsworn or Chosen Swords, but they're losing decisively, my Chosen Swords. Surrounded themselves now, and there you go, breaking. Chosen Swords, not as strong as I first thought, especially with being chosen. You would have thought they'd been good. But yeah, we're now having to move up Oathsworn to... I was keeping this Oathsworn unit in reserve just to deal with his cavalry, and then he brought his cavalry up. Well, I had to send it up because cavalry lines were starting to break. My cavalry does reach his cavalry, and very soon it starts to break. I think it's when I get my Oathsworn in there. It starts to break, and that is kind of key because that's his last cavalry. That is the last cavalry on the battlefield, and then it's down to infantry. It's losing decisively. Combat's now even. Combat even, and I am greatly outnumbered. 11 to 21. Should not be given a chance this, but now he's sending in Peltas to slow me down, so I can't get my Oathsworn there. And there we go, we're breaking. I'm throwing in javelins. I'm probably killing more of my own men than I am of his. And there we go, we're breaking him as well. And I could not get them. I could not catch these guys. I could have now though. He was sending them back in, and I decided to turn away, and that was a silly move by me because now his cavalry is still able to roam free. But I think oh, this is it. This is when Pontus started to move in. It was early. It was later than I thought. He started to move in. I was like, well, we need to flank his pikes, and we need to get in behind them. And I was being told, why are you doing this? But I was insistent on saving my infantry here because I knew the pikes were just going to do me good because they are pikes. But finally, they're breaking. They're actually breaking. And they're like, they don't need to break. I mean, they definitely have the better of my guys. Even with 22 of them, they're probably going to do a lot more damage to my Chosen Swords. But still, Sparta gives ground. Sparta was constantly doing this. He was giving ground and letting me chase his men and cut a few down as he ran away. Look at this. I'm just cutting his men down. Just cutting his men down. Look, dead. Wasted. It's about 5 or 6 each time. He just does it, and then he goes back into hoplite formation. Because he's scared of me outflanking him and surrounding him. And my general, 97 now, he has been in the thick of it for a long time. But yeah, the long line, I even was like, well, the battle's going so well, I'll give the men a bit of a rest. So they're standing off, and I send them in here, send a unit here to to help with the V formation. And we start to, he starts, and then look at this. He pulls back, and a load of these Spartans get caught between two units, and they get cut down and caught, and yeah, he's constantly trying to pull back and trying to save as many men, but it's actually doing more damage to him than it is good. So yeah, it's looking good now. It's looking good for me. We've had a bit of a a rough start, but we are looking to look a lot better. And it's a fight for this forest. It's a bloody fight. And there's thorough spears now mixed in here with the Spartans. Not quite sure where my men are. I think they've broken. Oh no, they're very tired by the looks of it, and they are very... 23 men, Oathsworn, having to hold off 99 in fact, and very tired. Yeah, these men were almost done, but I send in more men. I was like, right, that's it, we can't let this unit break, because if it breaks then the centre is gone, and my general, who's doing an absolutely amazing job here, the Oathsworn and Chosen Swords, are breaking these Spartan units quite, not easily, but slowly. And now we've broken more Pontic Peltasts, and it's looking very good now. We're starting to turn this flank very much around and sending in pikemen. So I was like, right, we're turning you around quickly. Can't let them get in the phalanx formation. And he tries to here. And there they go. Up go the pikes. And now my Oathsworn have to deal with them. But they cut them. We cut a few down. And they're losing decisively. Pretty sure they soon break. Oh, yeah, very dangerous there. Yeah. Oathsworn just so good. I need to use Celtic factions a lot more, to be honest. I don't really enough, I don't think. But Bronze Shield pikemen breaking. There we go. I was so happy that these pikes were breaking, and also that the Spartan ones weren't being used effectively. And my unit here, surrounded, is breaking thorough spears. Chosen Swordsmen, losing slightly, were breaking these thorough spears, and they return, and now we are breaking his. Here's a spire. Sorry about the foliage as well. If you like, it is a bit manic, foliage, but I needed it for my battle. I needed it to stand myself a chance with my Celtic ambushes. But here's Sparta now broken. Finally, these elite units are going, and now we have cleared this whole area. I mean, still thorough spears and those pikes are still a thing, but they're no match to like the fairly fresh units I have going on here. And now he's trying to pull back, but there's Oathsworn here blocking him, so this Royal Spartan unit is in a pickle. And he's got another very depleted Royal Spartan unit that is... My men are just walking through, it seems. Just walk straight through. Yeah, not good. So now the Royal Spartans are trying to retreat again, and they're retreating through another formation of mine, and we're just probably going to cut a few more down. Can't see any happening now, but we'll just, yep, they're breaking. This unit's breaking now because it's retreating through my lines, and we're going to not let it get away. And now we can get in behind the main line of more Royal Spartans. There's three men holding off against a whole unit. That's what the Spartan, they're mad. The Spartans, they're mad, they are. And then we charge into the more fresh unit, and yeah, this guy's mad. Let's see if he can hold on. Go on, you can do it. Oh, he took some names. Oh, it looks like the officer is just killed with that fancy head looking thing. Can this guy survive? Oh no, he's dead. I mean, when you're against four Gallic men or Celtic men, whatever you want to say, I don't think you really stand a chance. But yeah, look at, they are now struggling, and now he tries to outflank me to Spartan. It's very clever of him. He saw this fresh unit here, and he decides to try and outflank. But he doesn't push in. I send up a rally, unity, get some more morale, and he's trying to send in this unit, but he doesn't. He does half the job, and his cavalry is still causing me problems. He's now charging into more of his allies' men than he is into mine, and I'm sure this unit breaks very soon. It's down to 6. It's exhausted, and yeah, it's not going to last long. Look at the chevrons it's got on it now. It's leveled up a lot. And there he goes, it's wavering. He goes in for one more charge, and he breaks. Just like that. So now there's no cavalry left in the battle. It's down to my infantry. He's still got his pikemen in the back, but apart from that, Pontus... Oh, and his Thora spears, but apart from that, Pontus is also out of the game. So it's come down to me and Sparta, the two that did the least amount of work in the whole thing. And Sparta calls a general retreat. He's called a retreat. He's trying to reform his lines, and I'm like, no, it's not happening. I've got you where I want you. I'm in your lines, and now we're cutting down his men. As look, 33. That was a fairly... I think that was about 60 that strength was, or 50 or 60 that was strength was at, and now it's down to 28. He should not pull back. Spartans just should stand where they are. Like, I mean, it's their mentality that they have, but it also is just effective for their way of fighting. They should just stand, because if they turn around, the hoplite wall or phalanx goes, and chaos ensues. So at this point, I was like, well, we need to do this final pike unit. He's moving in pike formation, and I'm just keeping these 2 units so one can engage and one can flank and deal with the pike threat very quickly. But yeah, Sparta calls a general retreat, and he's just running. He's running and trying to form. I think he was trying to form like a triangle when he gets to it, eventually, to try and make one last stand, like the mighty 300. But I'm not allowing him. I'm just chasing him. We've got Oathsworn, 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 lots of Oathsworn, chosen swords in the back, and yeah, a few chosen swords and a few Oathsworn. And look at the carnage. Let's quickly look at the carnage that's ensued here in this battlefield. It looks absolutely disgusting. Look at that. Oh, carnage. That is amazing. Yeah, so many deaths. Oh, it's even worse here. This is definitely where the most ferocious fighting was going on. But yeah, as we can see here, I'm chasing him, and he makes a stand here. This is going to be Sparta's final stand. He's got 19, 31, 90. So he's got about 150 men left, if that. And he's going to try and hold against. I think I've got a fair amount left, probably about 300-400. And here we go. He's now trying to change his flanks because he's seen him trying to outflank him. And I just go in to engage here. I just engage before he can properly change his formation. And now it's all over. Oathsworn surrounding him. Now my Oathsworn engage his Royal Spartans. Breaking here with Royal Spartans. And it's these guys, yeah, they're not going to last long. They're just surrounded. Absolutely surrounded and beaten. And yeah, that's just unfortunate. And look at that. And now we surround his Royal Spartans. His general unit is losing slightly as well. This is how the battle went. Basically destroyed any morale. I don't even know. He just destroyed his army so much even the general had given up. He was just like, no, that's it. And now we go in for the final surrounding. And he was not pleased that I did this, but he was losing anyway. But that's war. You've got to get every advantage you can. And just like that, they're done. They're breaking already, or wavering, and there you go, breaking. And now we cut them down. And that is it. That is how the battle went. It was very, very good. And we'll have a quick look at the stats. So I brought... Me and Numidia did outnumber the enemy. I did actually kill the least amount of men. Oh no, I didn't. I killed the most... Oh, second to most amount of men. I lost the least amount of men. I mean, what my units did fairly well. My general did exceptionally well. More of my Oathsworn did very well. All my Oathsworn did very, very well. My spears did fairly well. Chosen swords could have done better. A few of them that didn't do very well, but they're very, very elite units. Took a lot of power. My archers, quite a lot of them did very little damage. Very disappointed because I was really wanting to use these to great effect, and I'm sure they could be. I probably didn't use them to their best effectiveness. Really needed to wait until the enemy had come in and then gone for them with my Gallic hunters, but it turned out well anyway. The cavalry did okay, not as well as they could have done, but I mean, looking over here, Pontus, Scythe chariots 418, and his cavalry was also did exceptionally well. His Cappadocian cavalry, and his infantry, his Peltas did exceptionally well as well. Infantry doing okay, pikes doing fairly well, Thoros spears doing fairly well. Quick look at Sparta. His archers doing his best, I think. Oh, the Royal Spartans here getting 212. That's very, very good. So yeah, that's fairly good. And we'll quick look at Numidia. His cavalry doing very, very little, and I was very disappointed that his cavalry got wasted so much. But yeah, and then a few of his cohorts doing okay, 200, most of them doing, and 132, but most of them doing below 100, doing okay, which is a bit disappointing because since it's a Roman style unit, I thought they was going to do really well, and his slingers just got absolutely mauled and did very little. So yeah, so I mean, that's the battle really. So if you've enjoyed, please like and subscribe for more content. There'll be more battles and more campaigns coming out very, very soon. Yeah, and so until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye for now.